Harry Styles has spoken candidly about the profound sense of isolation he experienced in the early days of his solo career after One Direction announced their indefinite hiatus in 2016. The former boy band member, who has since become one of the world's biggest solo pop stars, described the emotional and practical challenges of stepping onto a stage without his four bandmates for the first time. One Direction, consisting of Styles, Zayn Malik, Louis Tomlinson, Niall Horan and Liam Payne, rose from a 2010 X Factor appearance to global superstardom. Their music, energetic live shows and close-knit public image created a fanbase of unprecedented scale and devotion. When the group decided to take a break so each member could pursue individual projects, the transition was exciting but also disorienting for Styles. In a recent interview with the Sunday Times, he recalled the first few solo performances. Without the familiar choreography, shared glances, and vocal harmonies that had defined every show for 5 years, he suddenly felt unsure of himself. "What do I do with my hands?" he remembered thinking on stage. The absence of his bandmates left a surprising emotional void. Even though arenas were still packed and fans were screaming his name, he felt profoundly alone. The pressure to establish a new artistic identity added another layer of difficulty. Styles was determined not to rely solely on the One Direction sound. His self-titled debut album in 2017 and the follow-up Fine Line in 2019 showed a clear evolution toward classic rock, folk, and introspective songwriting. That creative risk was rewarding artistically but required him to rebuild his confidence as a solo performer from the ground up. After completing the Massive Love on tour in July 2023, Styles made a deliberate choice to step away from the spotlight. He described a period of slowing down and rediscovering ordinary life. Through conversations with friends, he realized that something as simple as sitting down for a meal could be about pleasure and connection rather than just refueling between obligations. He began to value presence over productivity. Personal milestones also helped ground him. Becoming an uncle brought new perspective and joy. He took up running, describing the activity as both physically and mentally rewarding. The routine of lacing up shoes and heading out for a run became a form of meditation, a way to process the whirlwind of the previous decade. Now Styles is preparing to return to the stage. He recently confirmed a one-off concert at Manchester's Co-op Arena on March 6 to celebrate the release of his new album, titled Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. The announcement came after fans expressed frustration over high ticket prices for earlier tour plans. In response, Styles promised that tickets for this special show would be priced at an accessible £20, making the event more inclusive and directly addressing fan concerns. The contrast between the Massive Love on tour, which grossed over $600 million and became one of the highest-grossing tours ever, and this intimate, affordable one-off show reflects Styles' desire to reconnect with fans on a more personal level. He has repeatedly expressed gratitude for the support that allowed him to grow as an artist and as a person, and the low ticket price appears to be a tangible way of giving back. Styles' solo journey has been marked by both enormous success and quiet introspection. His music videos, fashion choices, and public statements have consistently challenged traditional notions of masculinity. He has become a role model for a generation that values authenticity, emotional openness, and fluid self-expression. At the same time, he has maintained a level of privacy that is rare for someone of his fame, rarely discussing his personal relationships in detail and focusing interviews on music, creativity, and personal growth. The isolation he described after One Direction is a feeling many former boy band members have echoed. The sudden loss of a daily support system, the shared hotel rooms, tour buses, rehearsals, and inside jokes, can be jarring. Styles' willingness to talk about that vulnerability is part of what has endeared him to fans. He does not present himself as an infallible star but as someone who has navigated the same uncertainties and emotional challenges that many young adults face. His post-hiatus career has also been defined by bold artistic risks. Collaborations with legendary producers and songwriters, forays into acting, including roles in Dunkirk and My Policeman, and a distinctive aesthetic that blends 1970s rock, 1980s pop, and contemporary fashion have set him apart from many of his contemporaries. Each album has felt like a deliberate chapter rather than a continuation of the same formula. The upcoming show and new album suggest that Styles is entering another phase, one that balances the spectacle fans love with the more reflective, grounded approach he has cultivated in recent years. The accessible ticket price is being seen as a statement. Success does not have to mean distancing oneself from the audience that made it possible. For the fans who have followed him from the X Factor days through stadium tours and now into this new chapter, Styles' openness about isolation, growth, and the value of slowing down resonates deeply. It humanizes a figure who could easily seem larger than life. In an industry that often demands constant output and perfection, his decision to pause, reflect, and then return on his own terms feels both rare and refreshing. As March 6th approaches, anticipation is building not just for new music but for the chance to see an artist who has grown in public view continue to evolve. Harry Styles' story is no longer just about the boy from One Direction who became a global superstar. It is about a young man learning to nah.